Another one of my favourite people in football, Steven Gerrard. He's been linked with
Is he
a job.
actually? Or?
No,
That's sarcasm.
That's definitely sarcasm.
Just to clarify, he's been linked with the Rangers job. Obviously, Graham Murty left today. So, what do you think of that? Because obviously, he is the current, technically at the moment, Liverpool under-18s coach. He might not be by the time this comes out, but at the moment, that's where he works. Do you think it's a big job? What's your opinion on that?
What I find funny with the Rangers is they sacked obviously Warburton and appointed an under-21 manager with no previous managerial experience and hope that well. Obviously it hasn't worked out to sack him. So then they go and appoint an under-18 manager with no previous managerial experience.
Yeah, it's a brave move.
I think though.
They got nothing to lose though.
Obviously,
do you not though?
Well, not really, because they're not. It's not if they're winning the league. It's
but the whole point is, obviously, it's going to be tough, and it might take a long time for them to do it. But their aim has to be to try and close that gap.
Yeah, which is what they expect to do with Gerrard over a long period of time, innit? Really.
Yeah.
Or unless I'm guessing Liverpool would see it as a move for them if he does well at Rangers. He could always replace.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fairly obvious that he's bound to be the Liverpool manager in the future.
Depends what he does with other clubs, though.
Yeah, if he has the talent, but that's what they hope. You can tell the club hope that will be the case. If he can get that necessary experience under his belt.
It's a risky appointment, I will say that, but I think it could turn out to be a decent appointment.
Well, with Rangers, they've not got a big budget at all. It's only really Celtic in that division that do anything, really. But I suppose for Rangers' point of view, they've got to somehow attract a manager who knows he's not going to be winning league titles anytime soon, but to sort of build...
It's going to be more of a project.
Build a team, more of a project. I think that's why they're going for a sort of a younger manager. I think the fact that he's got no experience shouldn't really work against him because of who he is. I think if I was a player for Rangers, I think, wow, Steven Gerrard's our manager. Do you know what I mean? How good's that? Do you think? How would that not motivate you?
It would motivate you, but that brings us on to the discussion of the players. Should players just expect to get managerial jobs just because they were players?
I go the other way with that because one that bothered me a lot was Ryan Giggs because he was interviewed for the Swansea job and he wasn't given it and he got all uptight and I don't know why they haven't given me the job because you've got no experience. I think if you're a good player, great, that's great, people can look up to you, but you have no idea how to manage players on a day-to-day basis. But at least Gerrard has the under-18s experience.
They're still qualified people.
Yeah, but for the most part, you don't know how to handle a team. You don't know how you might know how to motivate them in the change room as a captain.
Yeah.
Of a team.
How do you get that experience if you don't have the opportunity? Gary Monk at Swansea
but you start
was thrown in.
You start down the lower leagues. You think of the likes of Man United goal scorer Teddy Sheringham.
Yeah.
Teddy Sheringham started in League 2. Didn't work out very well for him, but he started down the league table. Hasselbank, obviously, started down the league tables and ended up getting the QPR job in the Championship. You get these jobs, but you need to start.
You can't blame players for taking them though. Like,
you can't blame for taking them.
If Gerrard takes that job, fair play to him.
I can't blame him for taking him. I personally think it's a very risky appointment for Rangers because, I suppose in a way that technically they can't really lose too much, so it's not too bad. But it is a big club. What I find bizarre is when players themselves are expecting the top jobs and not getting them. The likes of Ryan Giggs. Why am I not getting offered the Premier League jobs? Because. Why? How could a Premier League job risk giving you the role?
But the fact that it's a Scottish Premier League job, and he's not being thrown into a club in England in the Championship or Premier League, I think that you can't really blame them for looking at someone like that.
As long as he comes second, he can't really do much wrong. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I suppose so. But obviously, as a Rangers fan, I'm not talking as one, but
no, you'd obviously want to finish above Celtic.
Of course, you want to finish above Celtic. But put it this way: if you finish above Celtic, you win the league.
Yeah, realistically. You're not going to finish.
But do you not think that Rangers fans would be looking for a manager who could at least try to place above Celtic?
Possibly.
Because that's what they're looking for with Gerrard, though.
Unless he really is a revelation, are they going to finish above Celtic?
Was it Graham Murty?
Yeah.
So you're a footballer. You're looking for a move. Rangers possibly interested in you. Who's the manager? Oh, Graham Murty. All right, thanks. Who's the manager? Steven Gerrard. Oh. I'll go there then.
Yeah, but
do you not think that?
No, not really. Because for me,
I think a stature. If you have respect and a stature in the game, it does make more sense.
But for me personally, you still then have to look at so what can he do for me personally? Yes, he can tell me about all the great nights he had in Istanbul and all this kind of cool stuff.
It's the example he sets, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's also the what he's experienced. He can pass on.
For instance, right? For instance, Ronald Koeman, bit up. Obviously, he didn't
Great
work so well at the end of the
Barcelona and
season,
stuff.
but he's one of the best defenders of all time.
Yeah.
He became a successful coach. Then at the very least, as a defender going to a Ronald Koeman side, you can go, right, I know that not only is he a great player, he also knows how to get those defensive qualities out of me best. Gerrard, you can go, right, I know he's great at what he does. Can he make me a better player, though? Has he shown a track record of being able to coax that ability out of me? Because if not, why I should go to someone like Rafa Benitez, who wasn't an amazing player, but is really good at getting an awful lot out of players that don't have much. Do you know what I mean?
But I feel like you're assuming just because he's got no experience that he's destined to fail.
Yeah, I am assuming.
I don't think you should, though.
No, I'm not assuming it's destined to fail, but I'm assuming that because you have because you have little experience, you're an unknown quantity. So I think it's, for me personally, if I was a player, I would want to improve myself as quick as possible to get the bigger jobs, to get the better roles, and be a better player. If I'm looking at Joe Bloggs, who was a decent player but has got a proven track record as a decent manager who can get an awful lot out of his players, and Steven Gerrard, a world-class player who has never managed anyone before, I'm going here because I know at least he's going to get more ability out of me. He's going to make me a better player. Gerrard would be great. It'd be great to hear his stories. It would be great to have a leader lead you. But you don't necessarily know whether he knows how to handle individual players and get that ability out of them.
That's where you get, you find that out. You get experience.
But I'm saying from a player's perspective, that's what I wouldn't make. I wouldn't make that decision.
But as a player, you learn, obviously, throughout the managers. Like Joey Barton just got the Fleetwood job, which I think you could be a good manager, Joey Barton.
But that's what I like. I like the fact that he's gone down the league table.
But I think.
Yeah, but that's because the chairman's his mate, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think he could do a good job because I think he could be a good manager.
Possibly, yeah.
The experiences he's had. But that's what I'm saying with Steven Gerrard.
I think it'd be interesting if a player gets sent off and he bollocks him in the changing room. How dare you act so
similar to me?
Why'd you let the red mist go over? Because you do it, boss. Oh yeah. I did do it.
But similarly, like who's Gerrard, like all the managers Gerrard's worked under, all the players he's played with, he's obviously learned a lot from those experiences. We can pass on that experience and that knowledge to his own players, and that's what people like Giggs can offer, people like Gerrard can offer. They've been around the game at the highest possible level for 15, 20 years, and they can offer that
at the same time, though,
to their own players.
How many elite players became successful managers?
Zinedine Zidane's done quite well. But he's been given a squad that's phenomenal.
And he's been given basically unlimited funds.
Well, yeah, but the likes of Wenger was never a good player. Jose Mourinho was. Did Mourinho even play?
But that's the point I'm making, that coaching is so different to playing.
Yeah.
How many top players got a top job? Koeman did.
Guardiola played for Barca.
Ruud Gullit was quite successful.
Guardiola was in a Barcelona.
Johan Cruyff was successful. Guardiola, but there aren't that many. But even he wasn't an elite player. He was a good player, but he wasn't an elite player.
Allardyce was a good player, and he went on to do good things.
Behave. There aren't many elite players that become elite managers.
But not many get the opportunity either. A lot of players don't want to be. A lot of players don't go into coaching as well.
I think more do. You probably realise.
Yeah, but they're not.
Carlo Ancelotti, he's another one.
Yeah, successful player.
But
what I'm saying is there's a lot of players who don't like
post. Well, Gattuso's not doing badly at Milan, is he, at the minute?
He's turned it around a
bit.
But
he's more of a character.
I love Gino Gattuso, but he's hardly an elite player. He was hardly a.
But he was always in Italy squads, and so he's World Cup winner.
He was part of Milan's best ever team, but he was. I mean, he, by his own self-admission, he was holding up he was being held up by Pirlo and Seedorf.
Well, he's one of those players. It was
never him who was
position,
dominating the game.
In that position, there weren't many better players than him, like a midfielder that could,
just put in the hard yards, put in the dirty work. Exactly. And that's what he did. And that's what he did successfully for countless years.
There's a case for Zidane, but of course, I think I could probably manage Madrid and they'd win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? It's just maybe not me, but terrible on Football Manager, but.
But I just think you'll never know till you give him the chance.
Of course not. I think he deserves a chance.
You never know, and if I wasn't an Everton fan, I'd be excited to see where he goes. But I just think it's interesting to me that that people see that as especially you two, you see it as a pull, whereas to me it's no more pull than anyone else.
It definitely is for me.
Graham Murphy or Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
Who's going to pull you?
As a player.
Again, though, if I know Graham Murphy can do a job.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's in the same situation as Gerrard was when he got the Rangers job a couple of months ago. He's under 21 manager. He had nothing else. He's just an ex-player for Reading.
Yeah, both for Rangers, and obviously. But I'm saying if you had an offer from wherever, I don't know. I can't think of an example. If you had an offer from Stoke.
Yeah, but that's because I'd rather play in the Premier League.
Yeah, but look, you have to just think comparatively for a second. If you had an offer between two clubs, but one with the manager who you know can do a good job, and one where, yeah, they're a great player, but they're never experienced. For me, you have to look at what they can do for you now, not what they might be able to do for you, because that could be a misstep then.
I think.
I mean, like I said, I'm not knocking people for thinking that's the acceptable way to go, because it could be great, and Gerrard could be an amazing manager, he could be excellent, but he might not be. And for me personally, if I was a player, I'd go, right, well, at least I know you're going to get the ability out of me now. I'll go with you. If Gerrard then becomes a great manager, I'd love to play under Gerrard, but for now, I want to become the best player I can, and you're going to get me there.
Well, having bigged up Gerrard in that sense from me and Gav, to play for Rangers is a massive pull as well.
Yeah.
Rangers, huge club.
Yeah, big club.
Most successful club ever.
Yeah,
I'm saying that.
They've won
most domestic trophies ever.
More domestic
I
clubs
think
than
they have,
in the world.
I haven't had one in a while, but
Celtic made it 7 in a row last weekend.
For me, Rangers. To play for Rangers would be brilliant as a footballer, I think. Yeah, especially as a Scottish player.
It's a shame I
wouldn't like to play for Rangers, mainly because I prefer Celtic. But
all right.
I prefer. Well, I did prefer Rangers.
You did.
Well, Gerrard.
So
it's tough.
He had signed a contract.
How would you watch the old firm and you're rooting for either Gerrard or Brendan Rodgers?
It's a good point. Yeah, you got your eyes tied.
Hearts it is, then, is it? Hearts it is.
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
Yeah. I've always loved St Mirren though. I think.
Where's Neil Lennon? Hibernian.
Hibernian.
Go Hibernian.
Oh God, he's a character. Isn't he?
I thought you were going to see someone else then.
I was thinking you were leading dangerously there.
I thought you were going to see someone else. Yeah.
The final thing, we'll just brush over it, is Mo Salah's obviously won the Player of the Season. Both the Players Association and this morning, the Football Writers Association, both narrowly beaten out Kevin De Bruyne.
Any of you surprised?
Not really.
Kevin De Bruyne's obviously the better footballer, but what Salah's done this season,
for me,
you cannot argue.
The defining moment for me, I think, was the Roma game.
Oh, that first goal.
Because, yes, Salah scored an absurd amount of goals in the Premier League. That's great. De Bruyne led his team to the title and has been excellent. But to almost single-handedly dismantle Roma. I know I'm not just missing the rest of the squad, but he was so good against Roma. That, for me, tipped it. Because when you watch him in that game, you think,
that's relevant to the
trophies,
though, isn't it? Because it's for the Premier, because the trophies are supposed to Premier League.
Yeah, technically.
Not for the Champions League.
But I'm more thinking of just the player itself.
Yeah.
You watch him then, you think, you just think, how can you not have the award? How can I not give you the award?
He's in for a shout with the Ballon d'Or as well.
He's got
if he wins the Champions League,
he's got to be.
I think if he wins the Champions League, I think he should win it. It
definitely feels like the best opportunity in a long time to replace
Messi
and Ronaldo.
I agree with you. If he wins the Champions League, I think Salah should get the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. He's been that good.
At the very least, he should be.
How many
goals
scored? Is 43? Is it
43?
He scored 43 goals. That's just phenomenal.
Currently has 31 Premier League goals, which
if he
is the joint.
More,
it's ridiculous.
If he scores one more, he'll beat Ronaldo's record.
His joint record with Ronaldo, Shearer, and Suarez for most Premier League goals in a 38-game season.
He's only 3 goals off Ian Rush's record for a season for Liverpool.
Oh, Jesus,
just 46. And there's another record as well with Ruud van Nistelrooy, I think.
United or
when he's at United, he scored like 44 goals. He's got 43 at the moment, something similar like that.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's won PFA as well, didn't
he? Yeah.
Pretty
much everything.
De Bruyne has been brilliant, and I watch him and think, what a footballer.
Yeah.
But Salah for me wins it.
I think if you look at it, I think say Liverpool do win the Champions League. Liverpool couldn't win the Champions League without Salah. I think City could still have probably won the Premier League without De Bruyne.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think De Bruyne will feel hard done by because I think he couldn't have done more.
No, he couldn't
to win
have,
it.
but
It's just unfortunate.
He could have. I think the fact.
Well, I mean,
goals. He doesn't score enough goals.
If you're going to say if he scored 10 more goals, and got 10 more assists, he'd get it. Then but what I mean is the way he plays, he can't do much more. He is phenomenal every week.
He's just unlucky.
He's just
unlucky.
He's just unlucky. Yeah, he's just been a phenomenon. And I think it also helps when you come into the league. Your expectations are lower. The gap between expectation and reality is bigger, isn't it, than De Bruyne? You expect a bit more. So the reality, there's not,
I'm not sure if you would have expected a bit more from De Bruyne because he went out to Germany. He was good for Wolfsburg, wasn't it?
His first season at City, though, he was decent. Like, he was good.
Of course, but I think
still expect a certain standard. Whereas with Salah, with his time at Chelsea, obviously he was never given a shake. So automatically you're thinking, is that a good
De Bruyne at Chelsea?
But what I mean is De Bruyne had already come to City the season before, done well, So coming into this season, you knew De Bruyne was going to be a good player at least.
Yeah,
Salah could be a flop. You know,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
And then
I think as a Liverpool, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would the money we paid, I would have expected to have Salah to have been good, but I never thought he'd been as good as he's been.
No,
I don't think anyone would have thought he's been as good.
That's the bottom line.
I
really,
always
isn't
thought he'd be a good signing, but never to
Never.
this.
Well,
never
he's
to
done
this
well at
level.
Roma. He had a good season at Roma last year. But
nothing to this.
I never
standard,
expected
no.
that.
But a lot of credit needs to go as well to players like Bobby Firmino. Took a backward step, but he's got like 20 plus goals this
I
season.
think
as
that
well.
front three, he's as good as anything in the world at the minute.
Yeah. People think Mane's had a bad season. He's got nearly 20 goals himself.
No, he's just.
They've got some
It's not bad when you can have someone who has a like subpar season and they still beat most other players in the Premier League.
Between the three of those, they've got over 80 goals this season.
Well,
City have got hundreds.
How many did Coutinho have?
It's just those.
He's the forgotten man, isn't he? Coutinho, like
But just look,
not missed him at
So
all.
I saw a stat the other day. The last time he lost a game was in October.
Coutinho.
Yeah,
Really?
so obviously Barcelona are unbeaten in the
Oh,
league.
of course, yeah.
He can't play in the Champions League, so he's unbeaten since October.
But for example, City have scored against West Ham. They scored their 100th Premier League goal when Zabaleta scored the goal, which is quite ironic, really. But they've scored 100 goals, or just under 102 goals this season. Them three players Liverpool have scored over 80. Just them three.
Yeah.
Those three. That's insane. That front three is best around at the moment, I think.
Yeah, it is long.
I think that just about wraps up.
Wraps up, yeah.
It's a long one, this is, but
Yeah.
there's a lot to digest.
We had a guest, so
Yeah.
special guest.
Apparently so. Don't know.
But if like we said, if who you think is going to go down in the relegation zone in the Championship or get promoted, Fulham, Cardiff, the playoffs, just let us know in the comment section down below. All our links are in the description and they were on screen earlier if you clicked on those. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.